Hello, this is Edith Neumeyer, and I am the author of the book, The Mystery of Adam. I'm going to continue to talk about anti-Semitism today, because it seems it's not going to end. And my question is, why is it not going to end? Why is it flaring up now? Why? In a previous video, I talked about the Noahide laws, anti-Semitism, and this bill HR 336 that a lot of people now are becoming aware of, and a lot of people are speaking out against it. This bill HR 336, which is mainly right now pushed through in some of the states, is hindering our freedom of speech. It's hindering actually our freedom to buy goods from people that we think are not appropriate to buy from. It is really an anti-boycott law, what it is. But it's not an anti-boycott law against all other countries. No, it is an anti-boycott law against specifically Israel. So my question is, why is Israel targeted specifically? Why are people boycotting Israel specifically? Well, it's because some people disagree with Israel and what they're doing to the Palestinian people, okay? That they do not give them equal rights in Israel and that they are killing them left and right. Of course, I understand Palestinians are maybe rebelling because of the way they're being treated. But the way Israel is dealing with the problem is just not appropriate. Well, it's not appropriate for Israel to deal with a lot of things, like taking the Golan Heights from Syria. That is not appropriate. It's also not appropriate for Israel to take other people's countries and just annex them to Israel. And I think this is exactly what this bill is trying to stop. For people to speak, not only speak out, but also maybe take a stand, a stronger stand in boycotting. So I continue to watch Jake Morphonius with Blackstone Intelligence, and you can look him up. I mentioned him in my previous video, who is very strongly against this HR 336, and he wants to prevent that it is actually becoming a federal bill. I said in my previous video that I thought it was related to the Democratic Party, but I was wrong in that. It is really both parties are supporting, or some politicians are supporting this bill. Like Marco Rubio, okay, which we know is absolutely, of course, a Republican. So it's not just, of course, all the shadow government is who wants to push this favoritism towards Israel through. Okay, the shadow government is doing that, and the shadow government is behind the Democrats and the Republicans. Now, if you don't think so, I'll tell you, you better open your eyes, because we know that. We know that, okay? So, now that we know people are pushing this bill, or going against this bill, and are trying to get this bill out of the states, because that's what they're pushing it in right now, as a state law, state regulation, and that people are working very hard that it would not go into our government, federal government, as a law. So now we're having this anti-Semitism flaring up again. We had another shooting, another synagogue shooting. And that's why I had to do this video, because it's not over. Matter of fact, I'm pretty scared that it is just starting. It is just starting. Now, what scares me the most is because the last time the Jews or the Zionists started stirring things up was when? Of course, most people don't know that because they don't learn it in history books. I did a video about this Europa, the last battle. If you haven't watched it, you need to do so. Okay? You need to do so. That's why, and this Jake Morphonius, in his last video, he also discussed exactly that, and he looked at the original text, and he even used sources from Jewish sources to show clearly what happened before the Second World War and how the Zionists stirred the anti-Jew cart, okay, or pot, whatever you want to call it. So my fear is, who is stirring right now this anti-Semitism cart, okay? And for what purpose is it stirred up? I'd like to know. Of course, everything anti-Semitism, of course, can be applied to Israel, right? Okay? That's just the way it is. But what is behind all this? This is what I'm always asking. What is behind all this? Talking about this shooting, the synagogue shooting again, for me, that is something very horrible. For me, shootings of any kind are horrible. It doesn't have to be a synagogue. It doesn't have to be Jewish shooting. It can be a shooting that harm and kill any people. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's black, Muslim, Arabs. It doesn't matter. Anytime there's any shooting and killing going on, it is pretty sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. And it's very sad when people use a people group and pick on that people group. Doesn't matter what people group it is, you know, whether it be, call them Nazis, okay? So much has been blamed on Nazis, okay? Nobody seems to care about that, okay? We can blame the Nazis for all kinds of stuff. And people don't even know what Nazis are, really, because we have filled this word Nazi with specific definition, and it's pretty bad for everybody, okay? So we can just pick on the Nazis, it doesn't matter. But when it goes to another group, oh my goodness, it's the end of the world. We had a shooting here in Colorado Springs several years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, at a church, Christian church, evangelical, charismatic. And you didn't hear this all over the news, okay? Oh, somebody was anti-Christian, okay? Anti-Christian, oh, I don't know. We didn't hear anything like that. Just somebody went in, person was crazy, and did the shooting, okay? And most of the time, that's exactly why people do the shooting. They don't do the shooting because they're normal people. They do shooting because they're crazy. And some people don't understand that. Now, we have a lot of these shooting being used to limit gun or to enact gun control or even take guns away from people. And so we're blaming these shootings on the guns. Oh no, we cannot blame these shootings on people that are crazy. Because every person that has performed these shootings in the United States, for sure, okay, they were all crazy. And nobody says, oh, wait a minute, maybe we should be doing something about these crazy people that are on all these medications. And do you know what? We are absolutely putting our people on more and more psychotic medications. And then why we wonder why people commit suicide or why they go on a shooting spree. Okay? We don't even know. I know of a 12-year-old girl. Of course, I'm a licensed professional counselor, right? I know of a little girl, 12 years old, that is on, and it's very regularly done, on a cocktail. They call it cocktail. Okay? Cocktail. That means she has 4 different medications. Psychological medications. Okay? Psychological. Depression, anxiety, ADHD, and then she can't sleep, and then they put them asleep. So 4 different kinds of medications this little girl has been on. Okay? I don't know, for the past year or 2. Okay? How bad is that? How bad is that? I think that's pretty bad. And I don't think that's just an exception. I think that is done regularly. So we have these people out there, and we think if we put them on a bunches of medication, we can keep them calm. Okay? We can keep them calm. And the fact is that the more medications you put them on, the weirder they get. The weirder they get. So now we have a bunch of weirdos running around out there. Probably natural weirdos that are not even on medications. And then we have weirdos on there that are on medication. And then they go and shoot. They go in, whether it's a synagogue, whether it is a Christian church, whether it is a Muslim, a mosque. It doesn't matter. They go in there depending what side of the brain doesn't click right. They go into the mosque. They go in a synagogue. They go in a church. They go in a post office. Don't we hear that thing about being postal? Okay. They go into any place. They shoot school children in a school. They go in a disco and shoot people in a disco. Okay? We have this happening. We have had this happening. It doesn't matter whether it's Christians, Jews, Muslims. You know what? Let's take turns. Blacks, let's take turns. Who is going to be the shooter today? But, oh no, make no mistake. If there is a shooting in a synagogue, it's the end of the world. It's really the end of the world. And I'm not saying it's not bad. Please don't get me wrong. But do we need to stress it so hardly that, oh my goodness, now we have anti-Semitism rampant? No. Okay? That's not the case. We had Colorado just alone. Okay, Colorado. We had Columbine shooting, which was a school shooting. Then we had this weirdo with the red hair shooting in a cinema, in a movie theater in Denver. Okay? Then we had this shooting, here in Colorado Springs, church shooting. 3 shootings within the past, I would think, 20 years. And I think we also had somebody shooting in front of a abortion clinic. Okay? So variety of people shooting, variety of people just going nuts. Every one of these people were nuts. Okay? Why? Were they on medication? Not medication because they were psychotic. How many people do we have on medication because they're psychotic? But no, we have to use these shootings, okay, to push through our purpose, our goal. Is it gun control? Or now we're using it to push this protection of the Jews. The Jews need to be protected. The Jews are in danger. The Jews are being hated. How many more people are being hated in this country? How many people are being hated in this country? You don't have to be a Jew. You don't have to be black. You don't even have to be white. White male. How many people hate white male? How many feminists hate men? You have no idea. Okay? Yes, they don't go out and shoot every man. Okay? Which is good. But I don't know what else they're doing. It might as well be shooting. Okay? It might as well be shooting because they hurt other men pretty bad sometimes. Okay? Their hate goes pretty far. Why am I saying that? Because we're such a hateful, should I say generation? I think people are becoming more hateful. Is that what it is? That's my question. People becoming more hateful, and so then they are looking for targets for their hate. Okay? So we are all could be the target for hate. All of us. I am. Somebody called me again, old lady. I mean, how disrespectful is that? Yeah, she didn't shoot me, but she called me an old lady. Okay? That is disrespectful. Okay? The way I grew up is that you respect your elders. You respect their wisdom. Nowadays, these young people, they can just call you old lady. Oh, get out of the way, old lady. What do you have to say? Hey, don't you know that once people get older, they get dumber? Oh, well. Okay? So there's a lot of hate out there. It's not just against the Jewish people. It's not against the Jews. That's not the problem. Let's just start with the Jews. How much hate do the Jews have against non-Jews? Because this lady that called me, an old lady, and basically was extremely disrespectful, was a Jew. Okay? Was a Jew. So, you think about it. Do we have to hype this anti-Jewish or anti-Semitism? Why don't we just hype this anti-hate? Why don't we speak up against this anti-hate? Because that's what we have going on nowadays. Okay? We have a lot of people being very hateful. Very hateful. In every people group, we have people that are hateful. And this whole anti-Semitism thing, this whole anti-Semitism hype, okay? Unless the Jews are without fault, they need to put themselves exactly in the same category as everybody else. I am not for anybody hating the Jews or even killing the Jews. Somebody just going into a synagogue and shooting Jews. That is ridiculous. It's absolutely a nonsense. But neither am I for somebody going into Walmart and shooting just people. Neither am I for any of the Jews shooting the Palestinians all over. I'm against that. I'm also against any Muslims going into a Christian church or anywhere and shooting regular people. I am against hate, anger, and killing and torturing people. That's what I am against. I do not discriminate against any people group. No people group people. Okay? This lady was also accusing me. She knew I was German. And she was saying, well, I cannot expect anything else from a German. What do you think that is? That is targeting a people group and stereotyping that people group and being hateful towards that people group. Now, you tell me that is right? Can I put myself as a people group on top of the pedestal and look down on everybody else and say, hey, you are doing something wrong. You are hateful against everybody else, but hey, I'm good. I'm fine. I can do it. I can be angry. I can be hateful with everybody else, but you can't. You can't. You cannot correct me. That's what I am against. Okay? And that's what I'm seeing happening today. I see it happening. People being hateful towards each other. People being hateful towards each other. Okay? This person, I don't know anything about this person that did that shooting. What triggered his anger? Don't know. Oh, no, but, anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism. Oh, no, the Jews don't do anything wrong ever. No, Israel doesn't do anything wrong ever. They don't have any enemies. Oh, no. Why would they not have enemies? Looking at Israel and looking at what they're doing. They just stole the Golan Heights from the Syrians. Ha! You don't think they made enemies? Oh no, they didn't. Oh no, they cannot be enemies. So you don't think they have enemies? You don't think the Jews have enemies? Come on, they're not innocent. They're not an innocent group. Not one group is innocent. I'm not even saying that Germans are innocent. They're not innocent either. Okay? But oh no, the Jews are innocent. They don't do anything. Oh, we cannot speak about all the Jews. Yeah, we can speak about all the Jews because all the Jews do not believe the same thing that Israel does. Okay? There's a lot of people, a lot of Jews that do not support Israel. All the crap that Israel is doing. Yeah, that is so true. And they speak out against it. They speak out against it. Okay? And do they have the right to speak out their own people? Yeah, they do. Do I have the right to speak out against somebody that does something wrong? Well, I would think so. At this point, I still do. And at one point, there may come a time when I can't do it anymore. And maybe then, if I choose, I'm going to shut my mouth and not going to talk about it. If I choose about it. Okay? Now, I probably, if you push me too hard, don't care too much to speak out. Okay? Comes a time when I cannot keep my mouth shut anymore. So, I thought I needed to bring this up very seriously. Especially, when people constantly feel sorry for the Jews. I would think that time is over. I would think that this time is over. I feel sorry for the innocent. Okay? Feel sorry for the innocent people. It's wrong what that person did in that synagogue. That was wrong. That's a criminal act. That person needs to be put in jail. But that situation should not be used to silence all people about other things that are happening, for instance, in Israel, that are wrong. Okay? Or silencing a person about what is going on with many Jews by them believing that the Gentiles are a subhuman. And there are groups like that. All Jews maybe don't do it. Let's take a survey and see how many Jews believe that the Gentiles are a subgroup. Okay? Why do we have these Noahide laws? Why? Why did Judaism come up with the Noahide laws? Why did they come up with the Noahide laws, people? And I'm going to bring it up right now. Why are they bringing up this whole thing with the Noahide laws? Because they do not allow for Gentiles to be equal members of Judaism. That's why. Okay? Now, do you think that is a nice thing? Have I heard any Jews to speak out against it? Some do. Some do. But most of them don't. Okay? Most of them don't even care. No, neither do the Gentiles care. I mean, they just, oh, whatever. I don't care about being a subgroup of, of Judaism. And I'm talking about a subgroup. I'm talking about a minority group. Okay? I'm talking about a group that's called a dog. Okay? All right? So how do you think people will react when they hear about that? Oh, they're going to be so happy about the Jews, right? Yes, they will. Okay? Then why would you think that these things cannot happen? I have talked about what happened before the Second World War during the Third Reich. The time when Hitler became, I think Chancellor, they call him Chancellor of Germany. And the Zionists didn't like it at all. So from the beginning, they picked on Hitler, okay? And they came up with this anti-Jewish propaganda, okay? Or anti-Nazi propaganda, okay? They were saying, oh, the Germans are discriminating against the Jews. Well, that probably wasn't the case during that time. But the Zionists stirred the pot very strongly. Okay? They stirred the pot. They stirred the pot so bad with this, oh my goodness, the Germans are anti-Semitistic and the Germans don't like the Jews. They stirred the pot so bad that we ended up with the Holocaust in Germany. And then, oh, who's being blamed for all this stuff? Oh yeah, it's the Germans. Okay? The Germans. They're going to be blamed at the end. So, I'm going to leave you with this warning. Are we living in the same times? Same kind of times? And who is going to be the scapegoat next time? Is it going to be the United States? What group will end up being persecuted? Or what group will be, Holocaust eliminated? That is my question, and that's why this topic scares me to death. Scares me to death. Because I'll tell you, as a German, I'm German American. I'm just as much American as German. As a German side is not very proud of what happened in Germany during the Holocaust. Very proud, I'm extremely sad. Sad, very sad. But the more I learn about this historical situation, the more I realize that Germany were taken advantage of. Okay? The more I read about it, and I advise you to do the same thing. Learn about what happened in Germany when Hitler came to power. Learn what the Zionists did. Well, learn what the Zionists did before that. The communist Zionists or the Bolshevik Zionists before Hitler even came to power. Why they were so angry when Hitler came to power? Well, simply because they lost. Because they wanted to get the power. Communists wanted to take over Germany. And Hitler did win. And so then they were really, 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 really upset. And they had to stir this little card. Okay? This little race card. Antisemitism card. And they had to stir everybody up in the United States so they would buy into this. Okay? What is happening in the States today, people? What is being stirred up? What is being put in place in our law system? Again, I said before, I'm not so worried about the Noahide laws. It just shows to me that the Jews purposely do not want the Gentiles as full members in Judaism. That's all it shows me. It just shows me clearly that the Gentiles are a subhuman group of Judaism. That's all it shows me. Okay? Am I angry? No. No. It just makes me aware. Makes me aware. But it also makes me think, okay, maybe that would make other people angry. And how many people may get angry over stuff like that? Like, oh, these Noahide laws are going to be pushed on us and we're going to be beheaded. And whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? When we are going to be beheaded. Now, I don't believe in that. But other people may. Other people may. And now how do these people react? So then are you surprised when these things happen? No, not everybody is going to be anti-Semitic because some idiot is shooting in a synagogue. Absolutely not. But be careful, people. Be careful, people, what you stir. Be careful, very careful what you stir. That's all I'm going to say. And with that, I'm going to come to the end. Please think about these things. Do some research. Do some historical research. Okay? Be careful. At the end, it's always the innocent that are going to be killed. Just like the Holocaust. It's not those Jews that stirred everything up that were killed. It's not the rich. It's not the educated. It was the simple Jews. The simple Jews. Now, if those simple Jews that had an excellent relationship with German people, they were killed. Okay? That's all I'm going to say to this today.